Sunday. Happy Mother's Day, happy Sunday. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. As always, as per usual, I'm hanging out in the tent. Today, as if we already have enough plants as it is, I am going to be starting some more seeds so that I can get some more plants. I've got 3 grow towers to fill, and they're not going to fill themselves. So I ordered some seeds online, some different stuff I wanted to try. So today we are going to germinate them and see how long it takes for them to sprout. And then on my next live, we transplant them into the grow towers. I'm just going to shut off my exhaust so that it's easier for you guys to hear me. If I want to lower my exhaust, I just have this little control pad here. And I usually keep it running. It helps keep the humidity under control. Right now I have it at a setting of 2, just so that you guys can hear me. I'm going to lower my fan so that it makes the audio better as well. So yeah, I quickly, in terms of humidity, I try to keep it around 40% in the tent. I don't want it to get much more humid than that because I have so many different plants that do have a high moisture content. You know, you come in the morning and the leaves are kind of wet, and I'm really trying to be mindful of avoiding getting powdery mildew, which I've gotten in the past. I just gotta also turn this Seedling light on. So we have a 3rd shelf with a light here. Today we're gonna get that filled up. I've got a bunch of stuff I want to start growing, some of which I already have growing. I just want more at a different growth stage so that when I am ready to eat it, it is ready to be enjoyed. So as always, for those of you that are new to my page, I am just going to take you guys for a little walk around the tent, show you what's up today. Hey KXBX, good morning. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of a recap of what we did yesterday. I'm going to show you guys what 24 hours looks like after we transplanted our rooted tomato cuttings that actually rooted in the tower, which was pretty cool. We are going to get geared up. So as always, first things first, get my gloves on. You don't have to use gloves. You know, people garden outside all the time and they don't use gloves, but I try to keep it as clean as possible, so I do, just to be extra safe. I wish it was weed, Dexter. No, or Dexter, sorry. No, but it might be in the future plans in Grow Tent. I'm going to take you guys for a little walk around. As I do at the beginning of all my lives, some people are new to my page, so I just do a walk around, show you guys what I got growing on, and then we get to the effect of the day. Yes, tomatoes, you are correct. Behind me, we've got tomatoes. We've got so much more. Yes, tomatoes. All right, so this is the grow room for those of you that are new here. This is my seedling station. So this is what's going to be the focus of today because we are going to be starting some new seeds. I've got a bunch of stuff happening in here, some new stuff growing. As you can see, we've got some baby herb seedlings there. All right, so this is our grow tower. I've transferred a bunch of romaine lettuce in the tower. Yesterday, if you guys tuned into my live, we transplanted some watermelons, some sugar baby watermelons. You can see those roots are already doing so much better than yesterday, which is wild to me because this watermelons grow so fast. Not the fruit itself, but the plant does. And then it takes a while to set fruit. So we've got our watermelons here. We've got some romaine lettuce here. Thank you, Dexter. It is a learning curve, sure, but I try my best to do a good job. I've got some of my flower starts here. If you guys know anything about flowers, These are called celosia. And then I've got a little strawberry there, got some mustard, got some sage up here. What else do I got? Tons of stuff. Another mustard over here. I've got a zinnia flower plant. I've got another zinnia flower plant here that has actually begun to flower. Well, it hasn't flowered yet, but exactly, grow at home. But these are all my flower starts for the season. These are gonna go in soil. I'm just starting them in the system because within like a day, we got crazy roots already. Yeah, exactly. Double tap for more food. All right, so moving on down the line. So these are my flowers here. They're only in here temporarily. Here, I forgot to label these, but I've got somewhere in here, I've got Chinese 5-color peppers, ancho poblano peppers, cayenne peppers, jalapeno peppers, dill peppers, and of course, bell peppers. They have begun to flower, but I have, you've subbed, don't know why. Oh, well, I will show you why, Dexter. Don't you worry. So these are the bell pepper plants, and they are coming along well. Been pinching off all the flowers just to maximize my yield. And these are the tomato plants. They are getting extremely tall. They are flowering like crazy, and they're doing great so far. We're gonna start seeing some fruit soon. These flowers, after they close, they develop into fruit, which is very, very exciting. Got some more there. And there's a lot of flowers per cluster, which I'm not used to. Usually I have smaller yields, but I pinched off all my first flowers, and it seems to be working quite effectively because now we've got exponentially more flowers than we did at the start. So yesterday in the grow tower, I broke a tomato plant. I wanted to see if I could clone it in the grow tower. We successfully cloned it. It rooted. So now I transplanted it into the system with you guys yesterday. For those of you that hung out with me, you got to see it. So I'm just gonna show you guys what it looks like today and how much the roots have already grown in like, I don't know, 24 hours. Grow some kush. Oh, the master, that is part of the plan. First, I have to master food. So there is our rooted tomato plant. Transplanted it into the buckets yesterday. Here's the second one. This one's in hydroclay, and the roots are already growing nicely, which is super sweet. We've got some flowers. So this was cutting that I took off of a tomato that actually broke, and I'm showing you guys the aftermath of the transplant, and we've already got crazy roots coming out. So I think I did my plant a solid because it's happy now. Last part of the grow tent before we get started is the grow tower. I've got tons of salad items, tons of yummy stuff. We will be harvesting shortly so that we can enjoy and you guys can be a part of it. So that is what's in the grow tent. That is what is currently growing on, and in this household, we love parsley. I use a lot of parsley, and I ran out of seeds, so I actually keep getting targeted ads from Bessie Seeds, and their seeds seem good, so I thought I would try them. So I ordered another variety to add to my flower garden for summer, which is an outdoor variety. It's for zinnias, and these are going to go in my flower bed outside. And then these are for the towers. These are I want to fill an entire tower with parsley. I've got curly leaf coming. This is flat leaf. So we're going to get these seeds started. We're going to try a couple of methods. We are going to do the paper towel method as well as the sponge method, and on my next live I will show you guys and we'll compare which method is better for germination and which you should use for what types of seeds, and maybe we'll learn a thing or two. What's up, Gardening for Trichomes? Thanks for hanging out. Happy Sunday. Thanks to everybody watching. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend so far. What's up, George Snooky? Thank you for joining, you guys. All right, so for starters, I've got my clean sprouting trays. This is what I use to germinate. I'll show you guys really quickly. In the germination bin, I have two methods of germinating my seeds, one of which is the paper towel method. You dampen a paper towel, lay the seeds out on it, sprinkle with cinnamon to inhibit mold growth, or we've got this. These are the sponges. I typically germinate in sponges because it is quite effective. As you can see, things just pop off in these sponges. So later in the live, we're going to go around, see if anything's ready to be transplanted from here. But this is what I do, you guys. Whenever I have stuff to do in the grow tent, as promised, I'll just go on a live and show you guys what's up, what I'm working on, and give you guys a little peek behind the scenes of what goes on in my day-to-day in the grow tent. I do try to spend as much time as possible with my plants, just in case there are issues. It's better to catch them early. So any of you guys watching, if you guys grow, let me know what you grow and how you grow it. I'm interested to know what everybody's doing and what methods you guys are using. So feel free to drop it in the comments and we can chat about it. All right, so every sprouting tray comes with a lid. One sprouting tray, we are going to use sponges. Actually, we might do both. We might do half the sprouting tray of sponges and half the sprouting tray of paper towel, and same with the other one for the flowers. So with the paper towel method, it's quite simple. Just lay down a piece of paper towel, but I'm going to cut it in half because we are only going to do half the tray. But there are a lot of other methods. A lot of people use rock wool. I've talked about this a lot. I don't feel 100% comfortable using rock wool when I'm growing food. There's a lot of particles and small little shards that can come off of the rock wool because it is what they use for insulation. And so growing food with something that they use for insulation, it just doesn't totally sit right with me. So first things first, I'm gonna go get my spray bottle, so hang tight. So the first step, you want to make sure you dampen your paper towel. So we're just gonna get that dampened. Just gotta get some water to fill my spray bottle. I gotta get my funnel. All right. Fill my spray bottle, get a towel dampened, and throw our seeds on. All right. Spray bottle is full. This is just some distilled water. I have a distiller, so that is what I actually use for all my systems. I got it from Bibor and I love it. What's up, Rose Garden? What's up, Dr. Benjamin? Interesting. Indoor farming is becoming a thing now. Totally. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I wouldn't call it farming on my scale. Like it is, I am going on a larger scale than most people do when they grow food for themselves, but I wouldn't quite call it farming. But yes, I am growing on a larger scale than most would. All right, so I'm just dampening this paper towel. It's a fine line. You don't want it to get too wet, but you do want to make sure you saturate the paper towel just enough to keep the seeds moist, but you don't want any kind of mold growing or whatever. I'm laughing because if you guys were part of my live yesterday, I was talking about how even though I wear gloves, I always wipe my hands on my pants, but General Hydroponics hooked me up with this sweet apron. And so now when I wipe my hands on my pants are clean because I got my apron and I'm always representing. So shout out to GH for the goodies. Thank you. All right, so dampen the other side of the paper towel. So first I'm gonna start with the parsley seeds. You'd be an awesome cannabis cultivator. Oh, well, it is in the future cards, maybe at some point. I heard if you can grow cannabis, you can grow anything. So I know there is a bit of a learning curve because the feminine plants and male plants and I don't know, but I gotta learn it. Does it grow faster than outdoor ground farming? Yes, it does. It grows exponentially faster because the roots are misted periodically with water and nutrients, and they really only consume what they need. Everything else gets returned into the reservoir and recirculated through the system until they've exhausted all their water and nutrients, and at which point again. So because they only take what they need, they're not, it makes overwatering a non-issue. So they grow much faster. I will tell you that. I have my flowers that I grew outdoor last year, and I started them in soil. And this year I decided to try them aeroponically, and they're already 2 weeks ahead of the ones that I had outdoors. I was using the same kind of nutrients and everything in the soil, but these ones are just, I don't know, they've really taken off. I mean, I just showed you guys, but I'll show again for those of you that just joined. Typically when I grow these flowers, a regular leaf is just this size, like the most mature leaves are this size, but this out, you guys, look at the size of that leaf. That is huge. With aeroponics, that is what happens. You get huge leaves. Even the lettuce, this is 5 weeks in the grow tower, and in 5 weeks I've just got massive, yes, Primo's garden. That's exactly the way to describe it. It is a speed run of growing. That's exactly it, right on. So look at that romaine. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so obsessed with my own garden. I can't get over it. So thank you for joining, because then I just get to show it off to you guys and share it and talk about it, which is the best. What's up, Anthony? I still remember your pool noodle idea, and I'm on the hunt for some, so thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so we've got our paper towel moistened. I actually don't have any cinnamon with me. Usually before I lay down the seeds, I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on the paper towel, only when I'm using the paper towel method. When I'm using the sponges, I don't worry about it, but with the paper towel, sometimes it gets too moist and then you get some mold growth. So I'm trying to avoid that, but I forgot the cinnamon, so that's okay. We're gonna see how they do without. Have you eaten any of that lettuce? Of course I have. I did a taste test the other day of my romaine lettuce versus store-bought romaine lettuce. So that'll be going up in a couple days on YouTube. You guys will check it out. Maybe I'll do a live taste test tomorrow or something. George says, zinnias in hydroponics, super good. Yes, George, you could say that again. Noodles are at the dollar store. Oh, yes, I know. I'm just trying to find ones where the hole isn't so big. I got to figure out a way to be able, I want to try to get the seed in the system so that the plant stays in my system from seed to harvest. So the holes in pool noodles are like, I don't know, 1/2 inch. So I'm trying to find something that's a little smaller. Would you consider that lettuce organic? Absolutely. I use organic non-GMO seeds. I make sure that I procure my seeds from sources that have all their certifications. The only thing that might be difficult to some is the nutrients I use. It is as there are more natural ones, but I use GH, General Hydroponics. It is a bit of a synthetic nutrient, so I don't know all that like 100% organic, but it's about as organic as I'm get. I'm thinking of growing tomatoes and using sand. What do you think? I mean, you're gonna need a lot of nutrients because I don't think it has much nutrients, and I don't know about the mineral content in sand. I guess it depends what kind of sand you're using, but why not just use dirt? Dirt is everywhere, and you don't need much. You don't need much nutrients or anything. Just dig up a hole in your backyard. That's what I did for my flowers. All right, so we're gonna get our seeds. I'm gonna start with the parsley. So I'm gonna do half this whole tray is gonna be paper towel, half is gonna be parsley, half is gonna be my flower starts. And then the other tray we're gonna do with the sponges, same thing, half parsley, half flower starts, and I'm gonna see which one germinates faster. I have a Japanese melon in a high. Ooh, that sounds so cool. I've never gotten a melon to successfully grow in my system. Actually, I had a sugar baby watermelon that began flowering, and it was about to start setting fruit, and then I got thrips in my grow tent, which was the worst. If you grow and you have if you grow indoors, and well, even outdoors, and you got a pest infestation, you try not to spray chemicals or pesticides or insecticides on your plants, then it is really challenging. You got to pretty much get rid of everything. So that's what I had to do. I had to get rid of a watermelon plant that was just starting to set fruit, and it was just such a freaking bummer. So this time I'm trying to do everything to make sure that that does not happen. I'm trying to make sure I have proper air circulation, making sure to prune regularly. I'm just really trying to take care of things so that I avoid having any pests or diseases or anything like that. All right. Hey John, what's up? Thank you for joining. All right, so we've got some parsley seeds. These are the seeds I procured. They are organic, non-GMO, flat leaf parsley from Vessi Seeds. I have never procured seeds from this place before. If you guys have, are they good? I purchase again from this company. I know that they do get all their certifications. Everything gets sent to a lab and tested, so I do like that. What do I think about Master Blend? You're gonna have to see what Master Blend is. I have no idea. Is that a fertilizer brand? All right, so I just poured out the seeds in my hand. I'm actually gonna flip you guys around and give you guys a closer look. Way to go, go green. Yes, go green. Nutrients. Oh, okay, well, I'll have to give it a shot. I've never heard of it. I'll have to look it up. Okay. I'm just gonna zoom in here for you guys. It's all about shot, you guys. Gotta get you a nice angle so that you have something nice to look at. All right, so these are our seeds. Parsley seeds, flat parsley. They are small. I'm about to try a new brand of fertilizer called Symbis Organics. Any of you watching, have you heard of it? And if so, what do you think? I just put the seeds like half an inch apart. Parsley seedling, very small, so they don't need to be planted too far apart. I use screws because sometimes it's hard to spread them out properly. And yeah, I'm just going to germinate, honestly, as many as I can because I want to be able to fill the tower. And I mean, I can also propagate the parsley that I currently have, but still too young. So we're going to put all these down, and then I'm going to show you guys the parsley that I currently have growing. And the one that's currently growing, I purchased the seeds from Mackenzie Seed, and they're really old. Am I running tests on these plants? Just curious, don't usually see hydroponic setup for this. I am not running tests. I live in Canada. We have very short summers, and so I'm trying to take control of my food sovereignty and grow my own food all year round so that I can say bye-bye to the grocery store. No slight to grocery stores, but honestly, I'm sick and tired of these big corporations making money off of poisoning humans. And so my goal is to have a long life and not get poisoned. And so grow your own food, man. Even if it's outdoor, just grow your own. You know how it's grown, you know what's into it, and you're kind of accountable for it. Do I have to use a chiller to cool the water? That is a great question. I actually was recently discussing with a friend of mine because he used a chiller for his cannabis grow. He says it's necessary because the grow room does get hot. I've never used chiller. I don't know if I'm supposed to. My water temperature is always around 22, 23 degrees, which seems to be okay for my plants. Maybe there's a more optimal temperature. If you guys know anything about hydro or aeroponics, let me know. I'm curious to find out about water temperature. I'm actually just getting into learning about, you know, monitoring your pH, your ppm, making sure your levels are right. It's quite the learning curve. Would I ever grow your own in like cannabis? Absolutely. So not only am I going to start learning how to grow cannabis, but I actually just started to look into, I want to have a medicinal tower. I want to actually get a ton of medicinal herbs like, you know, St. John's wort, acacia, lemongrass, lavender, all the medicinal herbs, and have one tower dedicated to medicinal plants. And then maybe I'll not only be an aeroponic grower, but I'll be an herbalist and an alchemist. Wouldn't that be so freaking cool? Growing my own food and growing my own medicine. So I've got big plans for this tent. The possibilities are so endless, and there's so much I want to do from this. So George, first time here. I think your live is good. I think many of us are seeing our plants. Greetings from Florida. Oh boy, am I ever envious of you. Florida is beautiful weather. I hope you enjoy. Do you grow anything, George? Do you grow anything in Florida? It's a beautiful climate, so the possibilities of what you can grow are more vast than in where I live. You know, like fruit trees, and it'd be so cool to have a peach tree. Maybe I can do it in the grow tent. Right now, I'll show you guys. I've got a lemon seedling that I'm trying to nurse. It went through a little bit of a rough patch, but she is coming back. I put her in soil, and she's looking good. So maybe I can force it to get fruit somehow, but it's definitely got to get a bit bigger. While I'm in front of the tower, I'm gonna show you guys my parsley. Check. So this is organic flat leaf parsley. There's the root system, and it's slowly getting there. It takes a little bit of time. Once it takes off, it really takes off. You can see if you look way down there, there's a new leaf unfurling. I've got some kale growing as well, and some romaine. I got a ton of stuff, you guys. I definitely don't have a shortage of leafy greens, that's for sure. Lettuce, cilantro, culantro, cucumber, parsley, and green pepper. Yum! That is so awesome. Happy growing. Happy growing. Honestly, there's nothing like a garden, whether it's outdoor or indoors. If you know, you know. It is so therapeutic. I come in here every morning. I don't know if you guys play classical music for your plants, but if you do, or if you don't, you should try it. I think that is part of the reason why my plants are looking so good. I play classical music for them every morning, and yes, I talk to them. I talk to them every day. You know, it's important for, even though everything in my tent is automated, and you know, you can very much set it and forget it for a short time, but I don't want to do that. I want to connect with my plants and, you know, be really involved with every growth stage, and kind of like with children, you know. So these plants are truly my children. Free thinker, are you living in a cold climate area? And George says coconut core outside is 85 degrees now. Nice. Coconut core is great. I have some starter plugs that I'm going to actually be trying. They are coconut core. And free thinker, yes, I live in Ontario, Canada, so I only get like 2 months of summer, maybe 3 if I'm lucky, and so it really sucks. So the reason why I start my flowers indoors and get a head start on the summer season, and then the reason why I grow my own food indoors is because otherwise I've only got 2 months to do it, and you can't possibly grow enough food for the rest of the year in 2 months, and it's not going to stay, obviously. What's up, Pro Pyro? Free Thinker, where are you at? Where are you guys at? Everyone that's watching, where's everybody located? And what's the climate like? What do you guys grow? So, got some more parsley seeds. I'm going ham with these parsley seeds. I'm just going to germinate as much as I can. When I say I want a tower full of parsley, I'm not kidding. Oh, Thinker. Jamaica is one of my favorite places on earth. I've been to Negril, and it is just, like, I want to move there. I would love to live there. It's a beautiful climate for growing tropical plants, so that is awesome. You know, I mean, you should be grateful to live wherever you are, but Canada, I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting sick of these 4 seasons. I still like the idea of getting to experience snow and then, you know, the leaves changing in the fall. But now that I'm a gardening gal, screw all that. Well, the leaves in the fall are okay because you can use it as compost. So if that benefits my garden, then that's fine. But other than that, I don't want it. I want hot climate all year round, somewhere by a beach preferably. Just chilling. Hi from the Netherlands. What's up, Pro Pyro? Got watermelon cucumber going. Nice. Normal cucumbers. Oh, awesome. I have been trying to get a aeroponic cucumber growing, but I've had some challenges. For those of you that grow indoors, there are certain plants that have to be hand pollinated. I talked about it yesterday on my live. We did a little cucumber pollinating for those of you that joined yesterday. So I did not stay on top of my hand pollinate, therefore no cucumbers. So I had 2 grows where I tried growing cucumbers and I couldn't get it right. There's self-pollinating varieties. I know I find about that after I had to get rid of my plants that weren't producing fruit. So that is the next step, is to look into varieties that are self-pollinating. If any of you guys know varieties that are self-pollinating, drop it in the comments because I'm gonna get me some. Okay, so these are our parsley seeds. I mean, I've got quite a bit, so I might just spread them out a little more. And should I put more on the paper towel? I've got 80 plant ports in each tower, so I don't know. Spread these out a little more. Give them some extra space. I don't have my cinnamon to prevent mold growth, but I'm just going to show you guys what I'm doing here. I'm just going to take this paper towel and fold it over. And that's it. These seeds are going to stay damp in the paper towel for, I don't know, a week, and then they should be ready. I actually did cut one to lay on top right there, but then I thought, why don't I save some paper towel and use the second one for the flowers? But should I stack it on top? Okay, I'm gonna listen to you guys. Pro Pyro's got a point. Better oxygen circulation if you put one on top and you don't fold it. See, sometimes it's helpful going on a live because you guys give me some great suggestions. So there you go. I unfolded it, Pro Pyro, and it actually helped spread some of the seeds out. All right, and then I'm gonna just spread them out a little more. Since I'm using the entire paper towel, I'm gonna spread them out. Guys, I'm learning, so if you guys have like suggestions or tips, like please feel free to chime in the chat. Tell me if you think I'm doing something wrong. It's actually very helpful for me, and I actually appreciate it. That's why I kind of go on too, is to interact and exchange information. You know, learn new ideas from new people. All right, so Pro Pyro says I would have laid one on top. Yep, saving is less surface area, water basically. Let's put a dry one on top and let it be. There's more than enough water. All right, Pro Pyro, we're gonna listen to you. And there you go, laid one on top. And that's it, there we go. So that is our parsley. We are going to do the same thing with the flower seeds. I'm gonna show you the flowers that are growing. They are zinnias, just like we started a whole bunch 2 days ago. But these ones are called Zinderella. They look so cool. The picture is very small, but they're, I don't know, like pom-pom looking flowers. And these are gonna be a deep purple, which is the fresh princess color after all. So gotta grow some purple, you know? All right, first, before I open these seeds, I'm gonna get some paper towel. All right, how's everybody's Sunday going? I hope everyone's having an awesome day. I'm gonna get some water because I talk too much. All right, get my scissors, cut this paper towel in half. I could rip it, but it's always cleaner you cut it. All right, so second half of the sprouting tray is going to be the flowers. So I'm just gonna shift or slide this up a little bit. And then we've got our second paper towel here. So I'm just gonna give it a little spritz. I don't wanna spray anything on my seeds. I'm gonna put away the parsley seeds. Let's see here. Get one for the True Leaf Market. I buy the mixed zinnia. Oh, True Leaf Market. I will definitely have to check that out. Thank you. This is my first time getting seeds from Bessie. Normally, the best seeds I've gotten, I'll show you. Hang on. There is a flower cultivator. I always talk about her because she is so inspiring to me. She has a farm in Washington, and it is called Floret Flower. I ordered a bunch of her seeds last year, and she cultivates all her own zinnias. She creates her own varieties, and they're, you know, even if you're not into flowers, they are very special looking plants. They're very beautiful, very breathtaking. So I'll just show you a little bit of what I'm trying to achieve outside. But yes, so these are the varieties I'm growing. I'll show you. So I have the zinnia, right? So growing like all these various colors. And then I'm also, these are called shooting star dahlias. I'm also going to be growing those, but those are going straight in the ground because they are tubers. So those are going to go right in the ground. And then there are these are the celosia. They are a feathery looking flower, and they're beautiful. They're just beautiful. And then these are some extra dahlias, but very cool, very unique looking. And I really just, I can't wait to start growing them. You know, I've got a lot of people in my life that just love flowers. So I like to be the one that says what I grew for you from seed. And you know, it really touches people. It's such a nice gesture. So yes, let us continue. So I dampened the paper towel. The second half is on the sprouting tray, and right here. So again, this is my first time buying seeds from Bessie. I just thought this variety looked cool, so I figured the heck I'll order, because I ordered my dahlia tubers from them. Anyways, so normally it's strictly food that I discuss, but because, you know, gardening season, and I do love flowers, and I'm trying to get into growing them. It'd be so cool to have an aeroponic flower shop, wouldn't it? Like a flower shop from my grow tent, or farmer's market or something, you know, where I can sell my aeroponic food and my aeroponic flowers. Maybe one day. You guys can send me some positive vibes, and maybe it'll be interesting. All right, so I'm gonna just flip you guys around, or give you guys a little bit of a closer look here so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got some seeds here. The interesting part about this is that the seed is actually in the petal. So at the end of the season, you save a growing flower, and you let it dry. When you pull out the petals, there's a little seed found at the bottom of the petal. Ooh. I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but just the other day on my live, I was talking about how I just recently discovered that these plants are self-pollinating, which is very for an indoor grower, because that means you don't need to hand pollinate. All right, so I'm just spreading these out a little more. And again, normally I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon to prevent mold growth, but this time I'm just gonna leave it as is. So just lay the sheet of paper towel on top. Sometimes I give it a little extra spray because those lights over here are quite powerful, and so it dries stuff up quickly. Seeds earn money, not the flowers. That is true. So what I do is typically I only buy seeds one time of every variety, and then I harvest from that plant, and then I replant the following year so that I never have to repurchase seeds. But I've had it before. Maybe it's because my nutrients were off or something, but in the past I've let my lettuce bolt. If you guys are new to that term, it means when your lettuce actually either is stressed out or the temperature too hot, it'll actually begin to start flowering very quickly, and then those flowers turn into seeds that you can harvest later on. So I did that. I let one of my plants reach that stage, and then when I harvested the seeds and I tried to replant them, I had a challenge. For whatever reason, they weren't germinating. So my seeds from my own lettuce were not viable, and I don't know why. I do believe, you know, my first grow, I didn't check my pH, I didn't use calcium, I didn't use yeah, ProPyro. A lot of plants, that is how you get the seeds. Parsley, cilantro, any kind of lettuce variety, you let it bolt and then it gets you seeds. So it depends on what you're growing for. If you're growing to get seeds, let it bolt. But if you're growing to harvest, then you want to keep your environment as good as possible to prevent bolting, because when your lettuce starts to bolt, it starts to grow in a really weird shape and it tastes very very peppery, and it's not an enjoyable taste. It really, the whole plant just kind of changes. So just something to consider. All right, so put our seeds back here. I'm just gonna put them away. One sec. Oh, I forgot. We're not gonna put them away because now we're gonna do the sponges. Right. So I'm just gonna put them right here. I'm gonna get my lid onto this sprouting tray. So I just leave it covered, and I'll take you guys with me. We're gonna put it on light. And now I gotta set a schedule for the third light. I don't have a schedule going for it yet because nothing's been there. We actually transplanted everything that was there yesterday. All right, so there it is. That's gonna sit for a week. I'm gonna get my light on. There you go. Harvesting cattle too late doesn't make for a great taste. True. Yep, very true. Very, very true. All right, guys, so next I am gonna just grab my sponges. I've got polyurethane sponges. I just store them in here. I'm gonna actually, I've never tried the black ones for germinating. I'm gonna try them because obviously seeds germinate better in darkness. It simulates like a similar environment to soil. So maybe the darker color will work. What I've done with my other sponges is I actually slice them in half so that when the root grows out, it doesn't have to grow through an inch of sponge. It can grow through just half an inch. I'll show you what I mean. But for seeds, it is very interesting to understand how that works. Yes, it is. I just recently learned that when it started to happen to me. So this is what I'm talking about. I cut these sponges in half so that the root can stick out the bottom quicker than it would if the sponge was thicker. So I'm gonna go back and we're gonna soak our sponges. So I try a bunch of different methods. I try not to get too comfortable with one method because depending on what you're growing, sometimes there's a better way to do things. So I'm just going to use my lid to actually soak some sponges. But before I do that, I'm going to cut some of them in half like I just mentioned before. So I just have my scissors and I just snip right in half, and now I've got 2 instead of 1. So these are just polyurethane sponges. A lot of people hate on me because they criticize the fact that I don't use rock wool, but that I use plastic to plant in. And for me, the reason why I don't use rock wool is the particles, and I don't want any of that on my food. That to create insulation, so gross. I mean, yes, this is plastic, but it's the lesser of two evils. There are no particles coming out, so nothing I've got to worry about. Thank you. I appreciate that so much, Pro Pyro. I really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to share as much of my garden with the world as I can, because all I want to do is inspire people to grow their own food. Stop going to the grocery store and start growing your own stuff. It's not only good for your health and for your body, but it is so good for your mind, your soul. Just gives you a new attitude on life, and it really just shows you what's important in life. So that is a thing that I will never forget when it comes to my garden. All right, so I've got a bunch of sponges. Might not be enough. We might need some more, but we're gonna start off with this. I'm just gonna take some water from my spray bottle and just fill the bottom of the tray. And we are going to let these sponges soak for a few minutes. The more saturated that you get these sponges, the better the seed will drip, because the sponge just stays super moist for several days. And even if I mess up, the sponge has my back. I'm so scared to start one. I'm just learning how to care for plants. I know I will get there at one point, writing as much as I can. Well, Tay, I just started gardening just over a year ago. I started in July of 2023, and look how far I've come. My best advice is just go for it. Even if you kill the plants, just go for it. Actually, you should kill some plants, because that is going to teach you what not to do and how to keep them alive. And, you know, I realized that the only way I learn in this garden is through failure. Every time I fail, I learn a very valuable lesson that I carry with me with everything I do, not only in the garden, but in life as well. So just be confident, even if you don't know what you're doing. You know, the fundamentals of most plants are the same. So if you know how to grow one plant, chances are you won't have challenges with others. And just be kind to yourself, have fun with it, and do a little bit of research. You know, try not to be too intimidated. Consistency is key, and being connected with your garden. So, you know, checking things out daily is something that I found is really important if you're looking to cultivate a really nice and healthy garden. Pro-pyro, but I also thought a little bit about waste garden makes. Even indoors is never really waste. You could raise, yes, 100%. So if when I don't have PM, we would take all my cuttings that I don't propagate or my plant waste, and I would just throw it in my garden bed or in the grass because it actually fertilizes the grass. And if not, a friend of mine is getting into the fashion industry, and they are looking for natural ways to dye your clothes. And so every time in the past when I've had plant waste, I actually give it to her, and she learns how to make clothing dye with it, which is extremely interesting. So it never truly goes to waste. I always figure out a way, in some way, to reuse it, whether it goes in my garden and my bunnies eat it, not my bunnies, but bunnies that visit my garden eat it. I try not to waste. The only waste that there really is are, like, for example, if I rip a sponge or something and it can't be reused. But even these, I wash them, I sanitize them, and I reuse them. I try to reuse as much as possible. Same with the hydroclay. Until it starts to break down too much, then I just get rid of it. I don't want debris in my system. But even then, I throw it in my flower bed. I never throw it in the garbage because it helps, I don't know, give some air circulation in the soil. Oh, I thought the fibers. Tell them about cellulose fibers. Oh, tell me about cellulose fibers. I don't know what you mean by it. Is it, you mean with regards to dyeing clothing? Anyway, so yeah, I try not to waste. I try to have as small of a footprint as possible, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Things do consume energy and do build up waste, and so you do the best you can. All right, so my sponges are soaked, but I do need a bit more water. I'm actually going to cut a couple more inches, even though I thought I would have enough. Just get my tote back. So again, these are my polyurethane sponges. I have different shapes, round, square, but I've never tried the black sponges before, and I cut them in half so that I just don't waste. Do you do these lives often? Yeah, I'm trying to do it every day. I did one Friday, I did one yesterday. I was on for about 2 hours. You guys hung out with me. I try to do one every day, and I try to schedule it so that you guys know. But sometimes when I feel like I want to do some work in the tent, I hop on and I take you guys with me. That's my new thing now. Every time I'm doing work in the tent, I'm just gonna go live, and even if it takes me a little bit longer because I'm explaining to you guys, that is truly my mission in life. I want to inspire you guys. So, or maybe let you guys inspire me, whatever comes first. It's way too much info around. The applications are huge. It won't waste stream time. You can Google when you're free. Okay, I will, absolutely, but I'm actually looking forward to Googling that. That sounds interesting. Maybe I should take a screenshot right now because I can't go back and see the chat after. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Tay. I appreciate you. And don't worry, together we're going to figure this out. I'm going to help you out. If you need help starting a garden or learning or gaining some confidence, or just want to watch and share with my garden, no problem. That's what I'm here for. I'm so blessed to have this grow space that the idea behind the lives too is just to share it with you guys. Like, why not? You guys get to see behind the scenes. You can check out what's growing. It's too bad I feed you guys some salad through the camera. Because if I could share my food too, that would be sweet. You guys can snack on some fresh princess grown salad while you watch my live and learn about gardening. Anyways, yes, I am a dreamer. All right, so I'm gonna flip you guys around for a sec, and you guys, All right, so our sponges are saturated. First time using the black ones, we're going to see how they work in comparison to the white. And we're going to do parsley and zinnias. Tay, I am in zone 6A. 6A in Ontario, Canada. Tay, understand that she is working with hydroponics, aka a system like watering. It's rather advanced, so learning from her about the system she's using. Correct. However, I will be doing soil gardening in the summer, and I will be showing you guys all about that. So you're going to learn a little bit about outdoor too. Again, I am learning, so if you guys are learning, we're learning together, because I really don't know what I'm doing. My plants are actually helping me because I believe they do talk to you in a sense, like they show what they need. All right, so just gonna lay out our sponges onto the tray. I don't want to clutter them too much because again, we want some nice airflow in today. Plus I germinated like, I don't know, like 40 something parsley seeds, so I don't need that much more. All right. So you don't want to like wring the edges, like, you know, you want all, oh, this was a bad example, but some of them are like super soaked. You want to leave them super soaked. You don't want to squeeze out the water. You actually want the water. Hey, you're doing well. That is up for debate. Like even yesterday, it was funny. I was trying to show people propagating my tomato plants and whatever. I broke just a leaf off my tomato plant, like one of these stems here. And in the past, I've tried to propagate, never root, because it's not below a growth node. So yesterday I had a viewer tell me, you know, you're not going to be able to root that. It's not going to work. And turns out they were right. So again, I'm always open to criticism, suggestions, anything, because we're all learning and we're all learning together. So no need to feel intimidated or whatever it is. Grower's mindset, you said it earlier, it's all good, exactly. Okay. But yeah, I try to propagate anything I can, and oftentimes it doesn't work, but I don't care. Okay, I soaked too many sponges, so I'm just gonna wring the water out of these, wait till they dry and put away. I don't want to store them wet because I don't want any mold. And see, my hands are wet before I touch my seeds. I'm grateful for my apron because I could do one of these. Feels so good. Usually my pants are dirty within like 5 minutes of being in the tent because I am like a big little kid. I just wipe my hands on my clothes. All right, so last time you guys watched me germinate seeds, I spilt an entire lid full of water. We are not going to do that this time. I am going to take this water and I'm going to put it somewhere. I don't know where. I'm going to put it back in the spray bottle. Actually, the cleanest thing to do, I'm just going to put it to the side and we'll get a clean lid. All right, back to seed sowing. So first we're gonna do the parsley again. I don't want to do too many. I'm gonna do maybe like, I don't know, 8 of these sponges just to kind of see, will it work, will they, and what the black sponges work. The white sponges work really, really well, and I wonder if the light permeates through, and depending on the seed, maybe some seeds need more light to sprout. I don't know. I think about soil, and you know, if you plant it even just below the surface, it's still quite dark, so maybe these will be more effective. I don't plant them deep anyways, and I typically plant or transplant or whatever you want to call it, or sow a couple seeds per sponge, because why not? All right, so I'm just doing 2 seeds per sponge, and I'm not even putting them deep. I'm just sticking them right in the opening. There's like a little opening in each sponge. I'm just sticking them in the opening. I'm going to flip you guys around and take you for a closer look. So those are my sponges on my sprouting tray. And we are going to sow our parsley and get this tower filled with it. So there's our seeds. They are small. We got a runaway seed there. Okay. Don't remember where I left off. All right, so I was going this way. I'm going to continue. A couple of seeds, and again, I might try some of them like sticking out a little bit, and some of them, I don't know, I just kind of want to experiment, you know? All right, so half this tray is parsley, half this tray is going to be flowers. And once parsley starts growing, my plan is just to propagate from a mother plant versus starting from seed. Starting from seed is quite an ambitious task. You have to be patient, you know. Some plants take like 60 to 75 days just to start producing, and it's tough. When you live in a climate where the time doesn't permit for 60 to 75 days, or I just lost my train of thought. Anyways, whatever. The point is that it takes time to start from seed. So propagating is probably a quicker way of doing it. All right, so the other half is going to be zinnias. Now, before I do that, it's important to label. I don't think I have a pen. Hang on one sec, guys. Just gonna look for a marker or a pen. I usually keep one in the grow tent so that I can label my stuff. It's gotta be somewhere. Oh, found it. Okay, so I know this sounds silly, but I love using painter's tape because it matches my seedling tray. It's not super noticeable. And then the only permanent marker I could find on hand in my craft tote was a green one, so you can't really see unless you look really closely. So this row right here, these 2 rows are all parsley seeds. So I'm just gonna label it parsley. Actually, I'm going to label it flat. I'm going to get into the habit of labeling it flat leaf parsley. Actually, I'll just do parsley. Parsley. Okay. And yeah, the painter's tape is so easy to write on. It doesn't come off. Just cut that with our scissors. And stick it on the tray right here. Parsley. That way we don't have to look pretty or anything, just so that we know what we're growing. So yeah, I already have some parsley growing, but sometimes I have challenges. The seeds and the seedlings are so small that when they start to grow, it's a challenge to make sure you're not underwatering them or overwatering them. And then sometimes I'm nervous about overwatering them, so I end up letting them dry out by accident. So it's just about what works best for you, and that is why I kind of do these lives and these trial and errors for you guys, so that you can kind of see for yourself, and you don't have to do the guesswork to do it for you. All right, so we've got our zinnia seeds here, and I'm just gonna do 1 seed per sponge. And I just realized it just clicked in how many seeds I'm about to start. I'm kind of starting to get a little bit overwhelmed with all these plants, but I can't get enough I need more. It's an addiction. It really is. I see my tower has one empty plant pot. I'm itching to fill it. Always, 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 always. So I'm gonna flip you guys around and take you for a close look of what I'm doing, so you can get an idea of what it's like with the flower seeds, even though it might not be that interesting to you guys. So here are the zinnia seeds. And where did I last put one? Okay, there's one in here. Put one in here. So just grab the seed and I just stick it in the little sponge opening. I try to make sure it stays at the surface, just because you want it to have, you know, a little bit of ability to get some oxygen as well. You don't want it buried. When you're planting or sowing the seeds in soil, they recommend just sowing it and then putting a light layer of dirt over top. So instead, it doesn't need to be planted very deep. All right, I need 3 more seeds. And again, these are the seeds that I'm growing. They're bright purple Zinderellas, so the variety of zinnias, and it's my first time getting seeds from Vessi. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. There we go. We got 3 more seeds because we have 3 more sponges left. And we're going to sow those seeds. We're going to get them into the sprouting station and then look out what has germinated to see if there's anything that we can actually transplant into the tower. For those of you guys that watched yesterday, I transferred I don't know, maybe 15 plants, and it's like every day I'm transferring another like 15, 20 plants. It's crazy. Cannabis? No. Soon though, maybe one day. Food. I grow tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, lettuce, herbs, flowers. I'm trying to learn to grow it all. Actually, so there's some water left in this lid here. And these sponges aren't as saturated as I would have liked, so I'm just going to pour the rest of the water. Anything else will go to the bottom of the sprouting tray, and it'll just provide some humidity, and then I'll empty it out tomorrow. It's just a little bit of water. Okay. Just dump the rest of that. Is that a lot? Oh, it's barely anything. Got absorbed into the sponge. So I put the lid on, got the sprouting tray here. We're going to get it into our germination station. This station here is so awesome. I love it to put my sprouting trays on. It actually is supposed to come on wheels, but I forgot to put the wheels on, so I still have to do that. But everything in this tent, other than this now temporarily, is on wheels, which is so cool. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can see, but we're gonna go down. So the tower just sits on 6 wheels. You can move it around with ease, which I love. And then these bucket systems too, they're all on wheels, so makes cleaning so much easier. You could just wheel them around. I love it. So before we start checking the seedlings, I'm just going to clean up my workstation here. Cleanliness is the #1 thing when you have an indoor garden. Got to keep it clean, and sometimes, you know, it's hard to keep up. By the time you're done starting your seeds or transplanting or whatever it is you're doing, you're done. You're tired, but you got to keep going because there's always to do. And I've always said, oh, it'd be so cool to, you know, work on a farm, but I feel like if this tent is as much work as it is, working on a farm would be crazy. Just gonna put my seeds away. Put my seeds away, and then I want to go check out my seedlings to see if anything else has sprouted. I also, I'm just checking my seeds because it's an addiction. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to germinate before I pack it up. Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. Sorry. Overactive brain. Tay, that's what caught my attention. The cleanliness, you go girl. Oh, thank you so much, Tay. It's tough. My last grow, if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, I show, well, different type of content, but I've shown previous grows where it hasn't always been so clean. There have been, one time I was sick for, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, and I wasn't in here at all, and oh my gosh, it was a mess. I had leak floor. My plants caught powdery mildew, which is like a mildew disease where you get spores on your leaves and it just gets everywhere. And then I had debris all over the top of my buckets. And so if you do a little bit every single day, then everything stays clean. Same with like pruning and maintenance. That's why I'm in here every day. Ooh, aloha from Hawaii. Aloha to you too. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that just got here, I'll show you what I got growing on. These are my aeroponic Dutch buckets. We've got tomato plants here that are about to set fruit. They have started flowering. We've got our salad tower that is just exploding, which we will be harvesting very, very soon, maybe a couple hours. Have a nice salad for dinner. I got 6 bell pepper plants right here. I've got poblano pepper, Chinese 5-color pepper, cayenne pepper, jalapeno pepper, Doe Hill pepper, and then these are all my zinnia varieties that they will be going outside, but I do start them in the aeroponic system. And then this is a more mature zinnia. It is about to flower, so I'm really excited about this one. I'm trying to see how easy it is to grow aeroponic flowers. I've got my cucumber plant here. She's coming along nicely. And this is my second grow tower. I've got some strawberries growing, some baby romaine seedlings, sugar baby watermelons that we're trying out, more flowers. These are called Soloa, and some mustard leaf. Got some chicory growing, some basil. I got a bunch of stuff growing, you guys. Kratky Hydroponics University of Hawaii. Wow, very, very cool. I've seen a lot of Kratky systems on YouTube, so that is really cool. Yeah, a lot of people DIY. That is awesome. George Snooky, where did I get the tower? Well, I actually work with a manufacturer to create these. So we've got a new design coming out soon, which is really exciting. I cannot wait to share with you guys. But this one is on my website if you guys are interested. We've got all 3 colors. Just check out www.thefreshprincess.ca, and you can find everything there. I'm trying to get into blogging as well. I will send the link, absolutely. I'm new to live, and I write in the chat.